Okay, so, wait, have we thought of anything for the opening yet?
Welcome to the Will Be Experts. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
Alright, this is big episode 25, a little anniversary special. Ron, what's your favorite memory so far?
Favorite memory so far? Gosh, I don't know. They're just all so good.
They're just all so mediocre and terrible. It's hard to pick which one's better. You know what my favorite memory is?
What's that?
Is that we've been doing this for 25 episodes. We are still as terrible at this as we were in episode 1.
Yes, we are. We sound better. But that also just kind of makes us that much worse.
The sound quality is better. That is the only quality that has improved over these 25 episodes. But yeah, we've got some movie news, some TV news, and gaming news to get through today. So we were going to start off with the movies as usual.
Kind of a slow week.
It was, yeah. We kind of had to scrape the bottom.
Some of these are grasping at straws a little bit, but some of this shit's really cool.
It's probably going to be a shorter episode than usual for us, which means
Nope.
it's going to be 2 hours instead of an 8-hour epic. So
no, what's going to happen is this first news article, I'm going to go on like a 30-minute rant, probably.
So is this going to be your UPS rant of the week?
Not really. I guess rant's probably the wrong word. Disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
Disappointed!
Thank you, Kevin Sorbo.
Yes. So that's probably what it is for me. But Mega Man movie supposedly in the works by Fox.
Because nothing bad can happen when Fox is involved. That's for goddamn sure.
Oh, rest in peace, Firefly. But yeah, so 20th Century Fox supposedly has this in development. And Capcom has not addressed anything. They don't even know if Capcom's involved, which is a really good sign, let me tell you. That people that make the fucking games may not even be involved with the movie. But apparently development has started with David Reddy, which I guess he was at the Ready.
I see what you did there.
But he's most notably known from Red and Jack Ryan.
Both movies I actually like.
I never saw Jack Ryan. I was curious though. It was Chris Pine. Yes.
Filling in for the, I think is previously, Ben Affleck and Harrison Ford, Alec Baldwin in that character. I thought he did a good job. It was a cool little movie. The villain is Kenneth Branagh, who we actually just reported about last week. He was cool. I like that movie quite a bit. You should check it out. If you like the Jack Ryan movies at all, I thought it fit in really well with the rest of them.
I've never seen one. I didn't know there was any before that.
He's a Tom Clancy character who they've made different interpretations of, like Hunt for Red October is a Jack Ryan movie. They had a couple Harrison Ford ones where he was Jack Ryan. Have you heard of Some of All Fears?
Yes,
with
I've
Ben
seen
Affleck.
that one.
That's Jack Ryan.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
so you have seen
that.
one. You just didn't know you were watching a Jack Ryan movie.
I just had no idea. I knew that I saw that movie because it was Tom Clancy and Morgan Freeman and
your favorite actor, Ben Affleck. You just have to watch every Ben Affleck movie, of course.
I know. I'm telling you, I just fangirl over him. I swoon every time. And then Michael, I don't know if it's Finfer, but it doesn't fucking matter because the most notable thing for him apparently is Tooth Fairy.
Oh, fucking Tooth Fairy.
According to this article. So there's your fucking tone for the movie, I guess.
Does this mean The Rock's gonna be Mega Man?
So
is this gonna be, have they said, is this gonna be like 3D animated? Like, have they...
I don't think there's been any word yet, but
I kind of want to see The Rock in a Mega Man outfit.
I'm going to take it as live action. I really am.
That's going to be terrible. I'd be kind of interested if they had better people involved and it was like 3D animated, because I just don't know how well that stuff translates.
I could do 3D animation a lot better, but if you're going to go live action and you're going to take it serious, which fucking Tooth Fairy, they're not going to take it serious. But Mega Man X, that's mine and Phil's favorite. And Not just like the first Mega Man X game, which I think is both of our favorite ones, but the character X in general, because Mega Man is childlike, and Mega Man X is probably more equivalent to like 18 to 20-year-old. And those games, I mean, I get the Super Nintendo, so there wasn't a whole lot of stories in the game, but I was one of the few people on the planet that actually opened the instruction booklet and read the story that is supposed to be happening on those games. And, which I mentioned that to Phil one time, just, no one listening to us knows who Phil is, but just to tell you, I told Phil about that one time that I did that, and that's how I knew so much about the story on Mega Man X, because he didn't know what the story was really till years later. He's like, there's story in those books? And I was like, dude, Dr. Light, which is the guy that creates Mega Man, he has a whole fucking diary of like him talking to Mega Man. They developed Mega Man's like character all through that. Like, he has fucking diary entries.
It's almost like Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls, you have to seek out all of the story.
Yeah.
To
it was Super Nintendo. They didn't have a whole lot of ways to do it. But, I mean, and in the Super Nintendo versions, the Mega Man X games and stuff, you have fucking Zero, dude. Zero is where I take my name from. Like, all my login stuff and everything usually involves Zero somehow. And Zero is my favorite fucking character out of all those games.
I never got into it too much. I forget which one it was because I was so little time I played it, but one of the Super Nintendo ones I played religiously in the late 90s, but I couldn't tell you which one. But that's my exposure to it. It was a lot of fun, and I'd be much more interested if this was a 3D animated, which sounds like they are going to make it live action.
It's going to be more like Mega Man 64 is probably what it's going to be like. He's going to be basically a kid. They're probably not going to have the helmet. They're probably going to have the rest of the body. And Mega Man 64 doesn't have the helmet. It just has like crazy Goku hair. And it was kind of like, did you ever play, I can't think of the name of it. I can almost see the logo. The Sonic Adventure. Mm-hmm. Did you ever play that? Back, I don't know if it was last year or whenever, when they announced a live action, it wasn't animated, a live action Sonic game. I said or Sonic movie, it had better fucking be like Sonic Adventure, because it mixed real world, like there's like fucking cities and people walking around, people driving cars and stuff, and there's people and sentient animals living together on the planet Mobius. Because like in all the cartoons and everything, it was like Dr. Robotnik was the only human. Right, and it was always the evil humans, deforestation and pollution, and it was like a hedgehog version of Captain Planet. But no rings, no powers, no Captain Planet, nothing like Captain Planet really.
Good call.
The moral of the show was like Captain Planet though, and the games, they kind of pulled that out of the games, but Sonic Adventure was different in that it had full-fledged cities and stuff. Mega Man 64 is a lot like that, and they tried to kind of give it, I guess, a real world perspective, but
okay, my whole thing,
it's going to be awful.
Okay, when I see like them like potentially doing live-action Mega Man and them trying to do live-action Sonic, it makes me think like back to like, like the live-action Smurfs movies, and you're just like, why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Just make a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't, like, what happened?
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah,
fuck.
Why do they feel the underdog? Did they make a live-action underdog? They
did, and I actually went and sought that movie out when it was in theaters, because I grew up on Underdog. So.
But it's like, I mean, why? Why do they feel
the one thing I would give Underdog, since you brought it up, is they made fun of his fucking rhyming in that movie.
I just mean like
they actually called themselves out.
I just don't understand conceptually. Like, why do they go out of their way to make the shit live action?
I don't know. I mean, they need to take like a Pixar level animation and dump some money into it, and it could be cool.
Like, get the like How to Train Your Dragon guys. Like,
yes.
Have those guys.
That was DreamWorks, wasn't it? Too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Have those guys, do it. Like,
yeah, they could do a really cool. As much as I like X over Mega Man. then I could still go for a Mega Man movie that was the DreamWorks animation.
And have you seen How to Train Your Dragon?
Oh, I fucking love that movie, dude.
Have you seen the second one?
No, I did not.
The second one is actually like a lot darker than the first one.
Is it?
Because the main kid is, he's in his like late teens.
When I was still running an IMAX projection system, I couldn't tell you how many times I watched that fucking movie. Dude.
I love How to Train Your Dragon, but the second one, it's when the main dude is in his late teen, so like the story's a lot darker actually. So like
was it still Baruchel, or however you say his name?
Jay Baruchel.
Yeah,
they just didn't have him Jay Baruchel it up as much as he with his whiny voice. Yeah, it was a very good movie though. Jon Snow was in it as well.
Was he really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Leonidas, what's his name? I can't think of his name.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, he was his dad.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If you like the first one, you should watch the second one. I just watched it a few weeks ago. It's on Netflix. It's good.
Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs is probably my favorite animated movie, I think.
I haven't seen Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs.
Dude, we're gonna stop this recording right now.
You know who I'm pretty sure made? Didn't the Lego Movie dudes? Didn't they make Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
I don't know.
I think they did. It was Chris Lord and Phil Miller, although I get them mixed up all the time.
I watched that movie religiously, and one of my favorite birthday gifts I ever got was from Phil, and it was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs on DVD.
We were so fucking off topic. What were we talking?
Because what we're talking about is so much more interesting than a fucking live action, possibly Mega Man movie.
Dude, it's Fox. How has Fox ever let us down before?
Who am I to question the great and almighty Fox?
I mean, have you seen Gotham? They make quality entertainment.
They're just going to Fox it up is what's going to happen.
Clearly everything will be fine. Was there anything else you wanted to add to the Mega Man rant?
It's going to fucking suck.
Moving on. So, this next topic we can't really talk much about because we haven't seen the original, but it's worth noting because
I just heard a major sigh of relief from the 3 people listening.
Danny Boyle's next film is going to be Trainspotting 2, and neither one of us have seen the first one, although it's on my on my list that I'm never going to complete.
The people that I know that have not seen it are just kind of happy living their lives. The people that I know that have seen it fucking love that movie.
I've never heard anything but good stuff about trains. And
I don't know how neither one of us have ever seen it, but it's got everyone loves it.
One of our top favorite actors of all time, Ewan McGregor, one of his first major roles, and we haven't seen it. We suck. It also has Robert Carlyle, another good, I don't know if you call him a character actor. Dude pops up in everything. You know the face, but don't know the name. Johnny Lee Miller, he's another good actor too. He's currently Sherlock Holmes in the American, not the Cumberbatch one. Talking about Lucy Liu. He's Sherlock in that. I haven't seen that show, but I like Johnny Lee Miller.
It's just called Sherlock, isn't it?
No, that's the Cumberbatch one.
Is it?
The Elementary. That's the name of the. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the shitty Sherlock Holmes show.
We're good at this.
We're so good at this. But yeah, he said his second. They have in the second one all the cast returning, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
there's actually Deadline has quoted Boyle as saying all the 4 main actors want to come back and they want to do it. So, but the thing that concerns him, also according to that same article, is scheduling conflicts between the 4 of them. But yeah, no, that's the next thing he's working on. Then, the thing that automatically makes a sequel 100 times better is getting the main original people back.
And the director back.
Very,
very rarely happens.
Yes, so
yeah, maybe we'll actually have the first one watched by the time the second one comes out. Although
the closer we get to that thing releasing, the first one will be everywhere. It'll be pretty easy to
I think
access.
It's on Netflix.
I hope
it was at some point.
And I'm kind of curious.
And now that I want to watch it, it's not going to be on Netflix because that's just how we're going to
sit down to watch it and it's just going to be gone.
It's like fucking death taxes, and once you want to watch the thing on Netflix, it's fucking gone. That's for sure. But yeah, the next story we're going to talk about, we are moving over to
another one of our favorites.
One of our favorite actors, and that is Benicio Del Toro.
Fuck yes.
Benicio Del Toro, he's such a weird dude. But there's something lovable about that guy at the same time. He's his Guardian's character. He's creepy as shit. He's he's basically a slave trader.
Yeah.
But you kind of like him just because he's so eccentric.
That's the way he is really in anything.
Have you ever seen Usual Suspects?
I have not.
You really need to watch Usual Suspects. But he's one of my... You can't even understand what the fuck he's saying. And he's...
But dude, Sin City and Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
Like, he's especially in Fear and Loathing.
His Fear and Loathing role is one of my all-time favorites. And then, like, half his movies, somehow he's an Oscar winner. Half his movies, you can't even understand what he's saying.
But it still works, and you don't care.
But, okay, we were dancing around the topic we're talking about, but he confirmed his villain role in Star Wars Episode 8. Hurrah.
He confirmed it by saying, I'm like the villain. That's the thing that kind of has
in
everyone
Del Toro
going.
fashion.
Yeah, they're like, so, like a villain or a villain?
I don't think you get him if he's not going to be the big bad of the film.
Yeah. So the other bombshell that he dropped, which I guess is not much of a bombshell, but he did inadvertently tell us that they're going to start shooting in March for Episode 8.
And I think they also confirmed the location. It's going to be shooting in Ireland, which is interesting because that is very,
You don't really think of Ireland.
When you think Star Wars, the first thing that comes to my mind is like middle of the fucking desert. That's the first thing I think of. I don't think of Ireland, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Also, the cool thing about this is since the director is Rian Johnson, the director of Looper, this shit's going to be dark. So we're going to have really dark Del Toro.
Well, that's another thing that's typical of Benicio Del Toro, is usually everything he does is dark.
Especially like we just earlier watched.
I mean, as fun as Fear and Loathing is, it's kind of dark.
It's dark. Usual Suspects is a gritty crime thriller. We just saw the trailer earlier for the movie coming out later this year, Sicario, where he's playing the mercenary.
Yeah, that was light and fluffy.
That was practically Avengers level tone. No, but freaking Del Toro, man, killing it. You know, 1 year in Guardians, now he's in a badass.
And he was at the end of Thor, also, right?
Thor 2.
Thor 2, yeah.
He was the after credits thing. So yeah, can't freaking wait. Super excited for Force Awakens. We will see if it's, anywhere near how hyped up it is, but either way, we're still going to be looking forward to the Looper dude making a fucking Star Wars movie with the Benicio Del Toro as the villain. Yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. Like, I saw a thing too, like, some, conjecture about the Del Toro thing. It's like, how cool would it be if he was not the species Jabba is, but like a Jabba role, like a slave trader, smuggler type, crime boss? That would be really cool. Yeah. They could do some interesting stuff with him, so cannot wait. But yeah, we're gonna move on to another Disney product, and that is that in the Marvel films, widely known that Chris Evans has kind of been the only person wanting to jump ship at some point soon. Everyone else seems to kind of be, along for the ride, as it were, but... Yeah, so I would argue with the exception of Robert Downey Jr. Which, I mean, he's already done, 7 movies for them, it seems like, so... Yeah. He's been in more shit than Chris Evans has, so it kind of seemed like Chris Evans was wanting to jump ship quicker, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. The interesting thing was that now he's saying he's open for more Marvel films. They've got me on board, sign me up. Before, and this was an interesting thing we found out just today, his initial 9-picture deal was cut to 6. Is that what the report was? That's what the report was, and I had always heard 6. I never knew it was originally 9. And the 6-picture deal was going to conclude with Avengers 3, was that right? And then it ended up getting split into a 2-parter, which I guess kind of threw a, Yeah, they had to not necessarily renegotiate, but they had to adjust the terms. So, yeah, I believe his exact quote was, when they want me, they've got me, which is very 180 because, I mean, he's been wanting to quit and go to directing, right? And his first movie that he's directed should be, I don't know, I know it's going to be straight to DVD release. I don't remember the release date on it. Sometime later this year, I believe. But I think maybe what he noticed in the change of heart now is that, he went off and directed his thing. He can still come back and act. I think maybe he's seeing that, like what Ben Affleck does. Ben Affleck will go and direct 3 or 4 of his own things. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do both. It's very rare that you're good at both. Yeah. But you can do both. Mm-hmm. So this was, fantastic news for me. I love him as Captain America. So the more... He is the only reason I respect Captain America at all. So...
because I was not that big of a Captain America person. I'm wearing a Captain America shirt as
You're
we
like,
speak.
fuck that guy.
And I'm like, fuck you, Captain America.
You're wearing that because of Chris Evans.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say, word for word almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm excited to hear that. But I mean, if he gets busy directing a bunch of shit, I mean, his stuff could turn into more cameos rather than actual Captain America things. But
Really, really intriguing how what are we in phase 3 at the moment?
yes, Ant-Man ended phase 2. We're getting ready to start phase 3.
I'm curious to what phase 4 looks like, or phase 5, which is going to happen because shit, fucking Guardians of the Galaxy made $1 billion.
Because bazillions of dollars.
So
because money.
So I'm curious to see how they go about phasing out this current regime without pissing off the entire world, because everyone in the world adores everything they do.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
So it's also going to be interesting to see just how they keep everything alive, because, you know, this bubble has to burst at some point, the superhero bubble.
They're being super smart right now.
Yeah.
We can't speak for like phase 4 or 5, but what they're doing right now with first Guardians being so drastically different to what they were doing,
and then Ant-Man.
and you know, Ant-Man was a heist film, and then now Doctor Strange is completely different than they've done. So right now they're being smart. So they just need to continue throwing in stuff that's radically different to, you know, throw a new flavor into the mix.
I think what's interesting is they kind of go halfway taking themselves super serious and halfway not. Typically, that's kind of the tone for all of them. Like, they realize it's a superhero film, but at the same time they take it serious, and that's where you get like a lot of the humorous things and stuff that happen. But like you said, all of a sudden throwing in a heist film, and Doctor Strange sounds like it's going to be very dark, you know, and it'll be strange to say the least. Like, it's going to be just with the casting they've got and who all they have working on the project, it's going to be weird. So yeah, you know, they're trying to mix it up. They realize that there's going to be a certain level of burnout at this point, but it's just, how much can you mix it up before it starts to go away also?
I think a lot of the success of Phase 4 and Phase 5 hinges squarely on the shoulders of the Spider-Man kid.
Yes.
Because
he's going to be their next Iron Man.
They need him to hit fucking huge, because they need the next flagship ready to go before the Robert Downeys and Ruffalos and Renners and all those dudes leave.
Yeah.
They don't need to like have a stale, stagnant, you know, flow of movies where, because the thing about it is it's cool right now with how many movies they release because they're all good. Mm-hmm. If they start throwing out 2 or 3 a year that are like to like let's say they have a couple of maybe bad ones,
yeah,
then you get to the point to where you're getting annoyed more than you're looking forward to everything. So they can't afford to have, with how many they release, they can't afford to have a stale period. They need to keep hitting on all cylinders because it's such a juggernaut that, yeah, once the quality dips, it's going to be a jarring dip where they need to definitely to make sure they're keeping their, you know, ducks in a row. They can't afford to fuck it up.
All right, well, we thoroughly beat that to death, I think.
Like everything else we talk about.
Yeah. Moving on into TV news. Still Marvel related, but I guess technically Netflix. Dude, Jon Bernthal, Punisher, Twitter.
Next subject.
That's all you need to know. No, it's a fucking awesome selfie that Jon Bernthal released. And all you need to know is fuck ton of guns and half of Jon Bernthal's head at the bottom of the picture, which you informed me earlier is actually a take on a comic book cover for Punisher.
Yeah, one of the really, really famous Punisher covers from the Garth Ennis Steve Dillon run is basically just that. It's, you know, not a selfie with the Punisher,
right,
but the angle of him standing in front of just like a 15-foot tall wall of every gun you can imagine. Yeah, I love when people do shit like this. Like, we were talking earlier, this harkened us back to Jared Leto and the Killing Joke tweet that he did.
I just love it when they do shit like this, dude. That tells me he's fucking excited for the role, you know?
They also did it with recently with The Flash. Did you see the Flash cover?
Yes.
That was another cool thing they did.
Yeah, it was like half like the live action people, then the other half was the comic book cover.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, I really appreciate it too, because it's a cool thing to do too, because comic fans will eat up fan service.
Yes,
and it's fan service, but it's not annoying fan service. It's cool. I think that freaking second season of Daredevil, dude. That first season already
be insane.
That first season already
was nuts.
Was amazing.
It was nuts. This is going to be insane.
And I think this is even going to be even better, which is because it was already one of the top 5 best shows on. I mean, it's still a television show, even though Netflix is kind of a weird gray area, you know, when you think about it. Because really, Daredevil is just a 12-hour long movie when you break it down, honestly. But, dude, look up the picture if you haven't seen it. It's amazing.
Speaking of amazing, I guess would be an inappropriate segue.
Speaking of shitty segues.
So, okay. I think we have made it perfectly clear where we stand on Arrow Season 3.
There was a Season 3?
Apparently there was. I read something about it the other day. I have no memory of that fucking horrible piece of shit Season 3 at all, and I am in no way bitter because I don't remember it happening.
You wanna know what's hilarious? Is just the other day when they first released this trailer. Yeah, because you just watched it today for the first time. I watched it like the first day it came out.
Yeah, you've been on me for like a week. You watched trailer. And
not for a good reason. It was more just like I'm curious your thoughts. Not like, oh my god.
Yeah, you were present for my reaction to it.
The thing, though, was Season 3 of Arrow was so forgettable. I was about to text you to ask you something that happened in the season finale. I'd already forgotten what happened in the season finale.
Nothing happened in the fucking season finale. That's
plot holes happened in the season finale.
No, it wasn't holes. It was just one fucking huge chasm.
Of 20 hours of my life I will never get back.
Yes. No, so, okay. If you haven't watched the Arrow Season 4 trailer yet, then press pause, go look it up on YouTube, and then come back. Alright, you back? Okay. So, here's what got our attention in this trailer. You get about a half a second look at Constantine in that trailer, and we already reported that was happening a few episodes ago. And you sat here and still watched me go, oh my god!
Yeah, that was, it was funny is the trailer is for Arrow. Every Green Arrow related thing that happens in that trailer, I won't give a flying fuck. They showed me 1 second Constantine, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It was just crazy. Like, we totally just started salivating.
Very, very, very cool of them to throw in that. I wasn't expecting a Constantine even picture.
Yeah, no.
At all. Like, not even a little bit. But.
And I wonder how many people that never, ever checked out that show or anything, or just hardcore watched everything on CW were like, who the fuck was that?
And that was the one thing that got our... Okay. Yeah. I will say this before... before we get into your thoughts on it, I will just briefly say, I do think it looks better than Season 3. That being said, that is not saying anything, because Season 3 was a catastrophe.
Well, okay. Was that your thoughts on it?
Yeah, okay,
I don't want to interrupt, so.
I will throw back after you, because you just watched it for the first time like an hour ago. Like, what do you think?
So apparently I could have continued. Okay. Constantine aside.
Just the Arrow portions. I saw nothing that I should be excited about. What I saw was literally my issues with the Fantastic Four trailers, which I don't know why everyone thought those. I guess maybe it's you and me. Maybe that trailer was fucking awesome. I don't know, because everyone loved the Fantastic Four trailers. You and I still don't know. Like a lot of people complained about the Fantastic Four movie was because it was a letdown after how cool the trailer was. And that trailer perfectly sold the movie. It was fucking boring.
And yeah, like the Arrow Season 4 trailer, all I saw was obligatory superhero scenes and obligatory superhero action scenes mixed in with a little bit of Nightfall Protocol, and that was it. I mean,
okay. It looked...
He kissed Felicity. I guess I was supposed to freak out about that. No, that pisses me off because I'm not kissing her. But, you know, I just... And even the little, like, funny quips at the end and stuff was not funny.
It did not hit a comedic chord with me either.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. It looked better than season 3 in that it didn't look bad. Like, it didn't look like the horrible fucking train wreck that was season 3, but nothing about it screamed good.
Yeah.
Like, nothing, like, one of the things on Twitter I actually saw was, this was a quote, back to what you were referring to, how, like, you and me react differently to this shit. One of the quotes about the season 4 trailer was, it was everything we ever asked for from Arrow. Like, really? Everything I ever asked for from Arrow already happened in season 2, which is clearly, to me, looking like the best that show is ever going to get, and it's just downhill from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That was the pinnacle. You even thoroughly enjoyed season 1.
I really like season 1 too.
And Chris, she really liked season 1, my wife, but I didn't get into it until season 2. I watched season 1 and it wasn't bad. And it wasn't boring, but there was just something about the feel of it. I just didn't really get into it. But season 2 happened, and it caught my attention real fucking quick.
Yeah, the first season, I think, how I looked at it differently was I was just already a Green Arrow fan. I'm a big Green Arrow fan, so it was just, you know...
aside from that one movie that has like 3 or 4 or 5 different couple minute long things with different superheroes. I think it was like Superman and Shazam and Green Arrow and
the name of it was I think the name of it was Superman Shazam, and then with that they had the collection. Yeah,
that was really the extent of my knowledge of Green Arrow. Besides a few things from Justice League here and there,
I like the Kevin Smith run that he did. Green Arrow, that one was a good one. Really, the main reason I like him is because my dad is a really, really big Green Arrow fan. So he got me, you know, when I was a little kid, and he would hand me comics, or he would hand me Green Arrow shit too.
The issue I always kind of had with Green Arrow was not nearly this extent, but kind of the issue that I had with Green Lantern a little bit. And that it's so, I mean, I get that it's superheroes and all that. But it's just so hokey. He's fucking Robin Hood, dude. I mean, he's even got the little triangle-shaped hat and the red feather and the goatee and stuff. He's a fucking boxing glove on an arrow,
okay,
Jeff.
Let's be fair. When they call back to that is a call back to the 60s. Like, they haven't done that shit since the 60s.
I know, but I just...
Like, they had...
He's fucking Robin Hood.
I can agree, like... how you don't buy it, but you also haven't, you know, like, he has a really, really famous comic run during the 80s, which was basically like Dark Knight Returns for Green Arrow. Like, it was called The Longbow Hunters by Mike Grell. He's like the... That's
actually a really fucking cool name.
He's the Frank Miller to, you know, like how Frank Miller is with Batman, he's the Frank Miller to Green Arrow. Like, he made this really, really gritty run on Green Arrow that, like, people were like, with Dark Knight Returns, they were like, holy shit, this is dark, what the fuck's happening? It kind of, like, reinvented the character. Kevin Smith also did a lot of, you know, deeper storylines. Like, I get what you're saying, like, if you're just looking at the cover of the comic, it looks ridiculous. He's just green, you know, Robin Hood running around, and, you know, it's just stupid, and you think boxing glove Arrow from the 60s.
Yeah.
But, like, if you open up and delve into some of his storylines, you know, he does have some good storylines to him. Just like almost every comic character. You know, even, you know, people give Aquaman shit. Aquaman has some...
I have seen so many memes on the internet. I think until Jason Momoa, that is his name, right? I just pulled that out of somewhere in my head. Until him, I am going to be forever ruined
by the internet.
Aquaman, just on the internet with all the memes and Robot Chicken, and I just...
And if you never picked up the comic books, the arguably, other than Batman, the best New 52 thing they ever did was Jeff Johns' Aquaman.
I was going to say, Jeff Johns basically reinvented that character, right?
And what was kind of funny about it is they worked in the jokes into the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
about him talking to fish and stuff, or not being able to, rather.
Yeah, basically every time they'd call him worthless, he would get lit up with a machine gun and then just kind of look down, shrug, and then beat the holy fuck out of the guy. And then the cops would be like, "Did we just get upstaged by Aquaman?" It was really, really cleverly done.
Yeah,
but yeah. How the fuck we got on the top of Aquaman? That's probably my fault. But
because again, it's more interesting than Arrow.
But yeah, it looks better than season 3. But I have taken shits that are more entertaining than Arrow season 3.
Especially after Taco Bell, right? Drunken Taco Bell run.
I mean, less plot holes for sure. But I mean, I
had
don't
something to say. I decided not to.
I don't understand like the positive reaction. Oh, also, before we move to a different topic, a more interesting topic, I do not like Diggle's mask at all.
Oh my god, why is he Magneto?
And they totally ripped off Magneto, and they didn't even do a good job of it. He looks horrible.
He looks exactly the same, but with a helmet.
Well, no, when you look at like Fassbender and totally blanking on his name.
Come on, Jeff. Ian McKellen?
Ian McKellen. When you look at
what
his...
the fuck, dude?
Hey.
Sure, I couldn't get Jason Momoa, but Ian McKellen?
It's late. I'm tired. Fuck you. Ian Gandalf. I'm just gonna fucking call him Gandalf
Ian
forever
Gandalf.
now. That's what you get. Ian Gandalf. That's his name. Okay. They kind of sold it to me, but when I just see Diggle's version of it, it just looks ridiculous. I don't know. It looked like what I said earlier. It looks like Magneto tried to join the Sons of Anarchy. That was my first reaction to it. It looked like garbage. And
wait, the picture that you first sent me from the internet, it was like him standing with his arms crossed, and what it immediately made me think of is like the news anchor, like turn to the camera and fold your arms thing, but with the Magneto helmet and a black leather jacket.
Yeah, I stand by my earlier statements. I think that we've talked about this on air. If Arrow season 4 if Arrow in general still sucks by the midpoint of season 4, I'm done.
Yeah,
which is mind blowing to say because the Deathstroke season was so cool. What like the first thing I'd watch every week out of the list of shows, and then just to see how far it's fallen.
Season 2, it was the first thing we watched. Me and my wife. And then season 3, when we had finished everything else, we would look at it on the DVR for a second and be like, do we have to? And then we'd play it and be like, yep, that was fucking terrible.
Maybe it'll surprise us. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it can't go anywhere but up, but I don't think it's going to...
Yep,
I don't think they will ever.
And at Comic-Con, one of the biggest news stories was him coming out in costume, which I will give them that new Arrow costume.
It's very cool.
Looks really good. But him calling himself Green Arrow was one of the biggest stories to come out, and they did not sell that at all in that trailer like it's supposed to be some big fucking secret that he's going to do that.
That was weird.
You know what I mean?
You think like...
Even at the end, it still said Arrow. And I'm like, shouldn't you be selling the Green Arrow point if you're going to do that at Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Because it's not like no one was paying attention to Comic-Con.
I don't know. It's CW, out of everything, just has weird-ass marketing.
They spoil it, and then they act like they didn't. Like,
exactly. And not only do they spoiler shit, usually they spoil it like 4 years in advance. Like, we knew the Legends of Tomorrow shit before they even named the show. Seriously, they didn't even name the show yet, and we knew all the cast members, the origin of what we won't spoil, even though they've already spoiled it everywhere.
It was in this trailer, too.
Yeah.
It was in the Arrow Season 4 trailer. They showed it in Legends of Tomorrow trailer.
We've been talking way too much time on this, but yeah, we're going to move on to a different DC news article.
Another thing that is also pissing me off.
Apparently, Justice League is eating another cartoon. This could be potentially a very, very bad thing, because...
I don't think it's potentially. I think it's going to get the Teen Titans Go treatment is what's going to happen.
Cartoon Network has shown that they're really, really good at canceling good things for garbage because you
Yeah.
never saw it, but Young Justice was
You
amazing.
made a brilliant observation when we were testing before we actually started recording the podcast, and that was how we went from 80s cartoons and how terrible they were to 90s cartoons that gave Hollywood movies a run for their money. And the way they were written and all that stuff, how dark and gritty they could be, yet they were still a children's show. You know, the way they were written was real brilliant.
The two I always think of are Batman the Animated Series and Animaniacs.
Yes.
If you ever go back and rewatch Animaniacs, it is just
fucked up cartoon.
it is like sexual innuendo nonstop. It
Yeah.
is so adult,
Hello, nurse.
but it's so clever in that because when I watched it as a 4-year-old, all over my head.
One of my most fondest memories of that, not to get off topic, which this whole show has been off topic, but Wacko, what was it? Was he burping all 50 states? What was it? I don't know. I remember him on like a Philharmonic like stage, like belching something. I don't remember. I think it was it all 50 states maybe?
I think you're right. That sounds right.
And then Good Idea, Bad Idea. Fucking loved Good Idea, Bad
But
Idea.
but what you were saying, and what we talked about earlier, is that in the 80s, all cartoons were 30-minute toy commercials.
Yes.
That was their sole purpose. They did not.
Transformers is probably the most famous example.
They did not have characterization. They didn't have narrative.
You literally go through like 3 seasons of Transformers G1, and all of a sudden in one episode they're like, well, I don't know, let's go ask, what was it, Omega Supreme or something like that? And they're like, okay, and they just step outside and there he fucking is. They're like, who the fuck is he?
And he only existed to sell more toys.
Yeah, it's like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, and then you get to
People just appeared.
You get to the 90s, and I feel so bad for like kids of this current generation because they turn like all Cartoon Network is, other than I think regular show is the only one that I still currently hear like people our age will go and watch because most of it is flashy lights, shit blowing up, and it's so dumbed down, and it's like they had such a heyday back when we were kids with these cartoons.
Oh, we had it so good when it came to cartoons.
I mean,
dude.
it was like the fucking like the 10th best show on Cartoon Network in 1997 is 10 times better than anything on air now.
Probably the only cartoon that matched the 90s that was not in the 90s was in the fucking like 70s, early 80s, and that was Scooby-Doo, because it was a fucking mystery, and it was written, you know, ends the end to the beginning. So it's a fucking mystery. You had all the clues laid out, and you had to try to fucking solve it, and it had fucking narrative to it.
Or the Jetsons and Flintstones were actually pretty good about it. They actually they had a little bit there, you know, more than, you know, Tom and Jerry. I mean, I love Tom and Jerry, but
there's no substance to Tom and Jerry.
But yeah,
or
I mean,
the Looney Tunes.
It's such garbage now. And then you haven't gotten to watch it yet, but you know, me and Phil love Young Justice. It was a fucking awesome.
Yeah,
awesome
I never
cartoon.
did watch that one. I saw Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and Batman the Animated Series, the Superman Animated Series.
It's
all those.
Young Justice is almost as good as the Bruce Timm stuff.
There was like 2 or 3 Spider-Man cartoons in the 90s. Only one of them was worth a damn. And believe it or not, that was the Fox one. Everything else that they fuck up, they got Spider-Man right. But, well, there's the one, it has now been dubbed Spider-Man the Animated Series, but the actual name of it is just Spider-Man. It's the one that, if you're young enough, you don't know what I'm talking about. The Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1 game was based on it. You would know the logo if you saw it. Had a 3D opening that back then was just fucking mind-blowing.
It's one of those, it's one of the most famous theme songs, too. Like, if you heard that theme song, you know exactly what it went to.
Yeah.
But, it's so shitty what's happened to cartoons. I mean, hopefully another 10 years or so, it'll go back around to them, you know.
I think it goes through a cycle just like everything else, like Hollywood and TV does.
But yeah, how did this news get leaked? Right, it was someone took a snapshot of, I think it was like posters at the Cartoon Network studios.
Yeah, what it is it's a wall full of posters of all of them are cartoon shows that are confirmed as to coming up. very soon in their lineup. New cartoon shows coming up. And the very last one was the one that caught everyone's attention. It's got a blue background, says JLA in red, and has a bunch of white silhouettes of characters. From what they can tell from the silhouettes, the top line appears to be Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Shazam. And then the next one, they believe, is Zatanna, which, like you said, is odd. Firestorm, which I believe to be kind of odd. Green Lantern, and Huntress.
And they think it's Green Lantern, but they don't know for sure. Yeah, they went a little... I mean, there was no way in hell it was going to have the Trinity, but Shazam's fine, because
I can see Shazam.
They've been pushing Shazam a lot recently.
Yeah, there's kind of a resurgence of Shazam.
I think he's still... I want to say it's no longer the New 52, but in the current DC Justice League comic, he's one of the main members now.
Was he in Justice League War? I know he was in Flashpoint, but...
I'm pretty sure he was.
As I know he was in Flashpoint Paradox.
I think they... Pretty sure they did. Mm-hmm. I can't say 100% sure.
I've only seen that movie once. I need to buy it, though.
I liked it, yeah. But the really, really odd ones are, like, out of nowhere, Zatanna, Firestorm, and Huntress.
Would Firestorm be because of CW?
I don't even know.
Because on Flash, they did Firestorm pretty heavily.
What that also could mean, though, is since on the first row, it looks like, maybe it's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman and Shazam are like the mains, and then what they'll do is they'll do like an unlimited thing and like rotate and have random ones, which works. But the biggest problem right now is just they have no reason for you to think it's going to be of good quality. The other thing too is you think JLA, and you think Justice League of America, but they are thinking the title was actually Justice League Action. I don't think they would. They even went away from using Justice League of America in the comics for about 15 years. They only recently even started doing that again. Yeah, I don't think it would be. Also, DC specifically did that because they think Justice League stands for a universal thing. America is kind of segregating, just us, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because most of them are aliens anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, like I was going to say, like, Cartoon Network, you have no reason to think anything they do is going to be good at the moment.
Yeah, no, I've lost all faith in them. And that's what sucks, because they had the best lineup when we were kids.
Oh, that 90s. Like,
and have you seen the meme of, like, Cartoon Network in the 90s and Cartoon Network today? And it was the old throwback to, like, the movie theater full of all their characters in the seats, and how it was just a fuck ton of characters and cartoons in the 90s, and then today it was like 2 rows.
This is pretty brutal. What was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends? Was that Cartoon Network or was that Nickelodeon?
That was Cartoon Network.
Okay, that was probably the last Cartoon Network cartoon. Not
fucking loved Foster's Home for
That was probably the last thing. What was that, like 10 years ago now?
If maybe even longer.
But that was not the 90s. That was a 2000s. That was like the last thing they did that was
Ben
good.
10, I don't think it was the 90s. I actually enjoyed
Never watched Ben 10.
I actually enjoyed Ben 10. It was I don't know if it was just me or the writing, but it definitely was not for like my age, but I could still enjoy it, kind of like my aunt when she was like in her 40s still watching Power Rangers. Like, it was just like she knew it wasn't marketed for her, but she could still enjoy it. Yeah. So, but we're going to move on from one comic related thing to another comic related thing.
I can't believe this is a thing.
And yeah, that was why I was going with the segue that I was, as awesome as that was, just because this is a thing. A thing that I just very recently found out about, like tonight. But still, I cannot believe that this is a thing, and this is a thing that is going to break the internet for one reason or another.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's
not the show. I think the show's gonna be good.
The show's gonna be good.
The reaction is gonna be a nightmare.
You want to tell the people?
Basically, this newest story, AMC has ordered a full season of Preacher. They had ordered the pilot. I think they are currently shooting the pilot. So that was all that they had confirmed until today. But apparently they were liking it so much during their production of it, they went ahead and ordered the full season.
Man.
So, if you've never heard of Preacher...
Does that seem like that's becoming more common to you? Ordering full seasons of
At least
things?
with AMC.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it can be a good sign, maybe the best is still to come. I hope so with Fear the Walking Dead, but I am not on board after 2 episodes. But that was another one where then they greenlight it for like 2 seasons after the pilot or something like that.
Yes.
Which if all they saw was the pilot, I'm like, dude, I would not have ordered 2 seasons of that.
No, I would not have either.
That could be misinformation though, because I don't know for sure if they hadn't seen more than that. But if it was just the pilot with that one, that was...
It is fact that we are guaranteed the 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So unless it just bombs so bad they decide to pull it.
But yeah, they've ordered a full season of Preacher, and if you've never heard or read of Preacher, it's one of the most famous comics of the 90s that had nothing to do with your typical like superhero related stuff. Like this was a independently created idea. It's incredibly fucking dark and disturbing. And should I go into just the basic plot line like I told you earlier? Or
yeah, just basic overview, yeah.
All right, Preacher is about...
I feel like it's a niche thing.
It's a former preacher who, through various circumstances, I will not go into like details in case that's the whole pilot plot line, but he, receives the power of the Word of God. And this is a former preacher who has just kind of, his life has turned to shit. He is kind of, just cynical as shit. And he basically starts to use this power to try and hunt down God for abandoning the earth. And how that's being made into a TV show is beyond me. But
and
everyone...
AMC, not HBO, not Starz, Showtime, AMC.
And the thing about it is everyone associated with this is on board as being diehard comic fans of it. So they know exactly what they're getting into. So that means they're going to try and be faithful to it. So
well, shit, even the 2 of the producers are the guys that created the comic, right?
Yeah, Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon famously did the comic for the entire run of it. If you look it up, you'll see the poster is already controversial in itself because it's an upside down picture of a church where
the steeple of a church.
Front and center is an upside down crucifix. Like
yeah.
they're showing you that they know what they're getting into.
Yeah, no, and it is a very ominous sky and
fantastic poster.
That's
one of those like less is more.
Yes.
Done to the perfect degree.
I love shit like that. Yeah, no.
So so people associated with this, not only the comic creators on it as producers, but the showrunners, I believe, are Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg of all people. And that you would think that kind of odd just because of who they are, but
well, no,
they are.
Sam Catlin from Breaking Bad will be showrunner.
All right, so they're exec producers, probably.
Yes.
So, but those 2 are the ones who have been trying to get it off the ground this entire time. They've been trying to get this made for the last couple of years, pushing hard for this because they are diehard fans of the comic.
And dude, a Breaking Bad alum as showrunner?
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out earlier, like, what the name of the person was, and it doesn't matter. The 2 keywords that matter are breaking and bad.
Yeah.
So, what was the name of the showrunner? Sam Catlin?
Yes.
So,
well, that's how I say it. You said Caitlin.
Yeah, we had no clue, but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They are
breaking and bad.
They wrote the pilot script and will serve as the showrunner, and I cannot wait for this.
Which means that pilot may not be too piloty.
Breaking Bad had a really, that was
a really strong pilot.
That was, I'm sure it was Vince Gilligan doing it, but every episode of Breaking Bad, like, what would you say the very worst Breaking Bad episode was? Like a 7.5 or an 8?
Something like that.
It never got bad.
No, it
never
never
got bad.
It never broke bad.
I think the curious thing about this is how much of a shitstorm is this about to make?
Oh, dude. You think Westboro Baptist Church can get pissed about some things?
I can't wait to hear what Westboro has to think about Preacher, dude. This is another one of those things. I forget what it was we were talking about. I think it was Trainspotting. Preacher is one of those where every single person who has read it at all is like blown away by it. It's one of those. I need to go back and finish it. I'm about halfway through it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I read, I loved. It was a great comic. It's one of those like Walking Dead like page turner where you look back like, oh shit, I just read like 6 issues of this, and in the last hour I didn't even realize I'd been reading it that long.
Yeah.
Really, really addictive. Dark as hell.
Well, from what I've read and what you've told me about it, I'm on board already. And then just reading, again, Breaking and Bad, Seth Rogen, and then the people that fucking created the comic being producers. I mean, everything is in the right place on this.
Everything is set up
T is
for
crossed,
it to work.
every I is dotted.
And the one thing before we move on is we should say the lead character, Jesse Custer, is being played by Dominic Cooper, who, if I'm not mistaken, is Howard Stark from the first Captain America, Agent Carter. Awesome actor. Yeah, everything that could be.
I have heard nothing bad about this, except for after the pilot premieres, what every religious organization is going to be up in arms about.
And if you thought my brief little synopsis was fucked up and crazy, you don't know nothing yet, dude. It gets a lot more fucked up and crazy than my synopsis. So yeah.
But seriously, Google AMC, Preacher, and Nerdist, which we have taken to calling Nerd Tits,
unfortunately.
So don't type in Nerd Tits. You probably don't want to see whatever that brings up, or maybe you do. But I recommend Nerdist and look at the poster. Just look at this poster, and that is all you need to know.
It totally sells it. And
yes.
I'm super excited for this. I can't wait. I'm assuming this is going to be coming out 2016. I don't know if they've even given a date, but that's my guesstimation.
It would probably be, I'm assuming, late 2016.
They'll probably...
since it was just announced and they're writing the pilot now, I would think late 2016.
What they'll do is they'll probably...
But there's nothing in this article about it.
They piggyback off of The Walking Dead, so this will probably premiere right after the premiere of either Fear the Walking Dead next year or Walking Dead. It'll probably
be after Walking Dead, because everything I want to watch is always on at the same fucking time.
Of course.
Or on the same days or something. Hopefully since it's AMC, it'll be spread out through the week, but... probably all be on Sunday.
But yeah, speaking of fucked up and crazy TV shows, Black Mirror has been ordered by Netflix.
I have yet to see the first series of this, and I'm still excited about this news because I have heard nothing but how good that show is.
Well...
and it's in my Netflix purgatory.
Once you start it, you won't be able to... not finish it until...
And I grew up watching with my dad. Me and my dad would watch the black and white Twilight Zone.
So yeah, I am a giant Twilight Zone fan too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is... the way I describe Black Mirror is it's like a 45-minute of the Twilight Zone with all of those Walking Dead moments make you want to cry and need a hug. Like, oh my god, that show. Black Mirror...
You know where it gets its name, right?
Yeah, it's the cellular device you're looking at, right?
Yeah. If you're on your lock screen and the screen is off, you're looking into a black mirror. Oh, shit like that gets me. Right there.
And I think it's been the same dude pretty much since the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
I think the showrunner dude that made up that idea, the conceptual idea for the name, is still the showrunner. I think he usually writes like one or two of their... episode, like they're weird. They do like the Sherlock setup, like where they have a series of, I think it's usually 3.
Yes, and like hour and a half
episodes. hour and a half, and then they most recently did the Christmas special.
Oh God! I have a feeling that's not light and fluffy like a Doctor Who special.
You only want to cry like 3 or 4 times, and just feel like depressed for a week, dude.
After Santa eats the children's family.
I think I was telling you after I watched one of the episodes from the first series. Made me so depressed. I couldn't watch any more TV the night that I watched it. I was just like, dude, I have to unwind and do something else. Not even fucking kidding.
Am I going to know it when I get to it?
Well, that could be...
because that may be the next thing I do since I finished Torchwood.
I think you should, since they're going to be ramping it back up. And the thing about it, though, is... every episode could be that, because they do so many twisted, fucked up ideas, but everything is, it's anthology too. Everything is, it's like Twilight Zone. Everything is its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
They can do fucking anything with it. So I'm really excited by this. I don't know. I don't think they've given an exact amount. From the article I read was Netflix has ordered a batch of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So that could be a couple series. That could be one. We don't know, but. It's been a huge hit. Like you said, everyone that's seen it loves it.
Yes.
So it'll
and
be a big...
everyone that has seen it will just bring it up randomly in conversation. It's like, so how was your drive to work today? Oh man, last night on Black Mirror. Like, it's just...
Because it's like, seriously...
Speaking of driving to work on Black Mirror, like, it's just...
That one episode I was telling you about, like, I was thinking about it like 2 or 3 days after I watched it, because it like hit me that hard where it's just like, Jesus.
And I love dark and fucked up shit. Probably because my dad fed me Twilight Zone and Crypt Keeper as a kid.
Yeah, if you are a fan of Twilight Zone at all, it's a must watch. So I think that should be your next thing now that you finish Torchwood, and that makes a good segue to our next subject, and that is that Jon Barrowman, famously Captain Jack Harkness from Doctor Who and Torchwood, is returning to voice the character for an audio series, which I believe they're doing one for every character, right? You're going to be more familiar with this because you've actually seen the show. I've only seen him in Doctor Who. I've never seen Torchwood, but I'll let you take this one away.
The question would be what characters. They really only brought up Captain Jack because he's the main star. Because it depends on if it's taking place after where the series ended or if it's taking place, in between seasons of things on who could be in it. Because Bern Gorman is in it for a couple of seasons, and then the other 2 seasons he's not. So it's like, if he's going to get one or not. But no, I do podcasts, but I don't do audiobooks or anything. So I may have to check this out though, just because. Here's the thing. I watched Torchwood, but that doesn't mean I liked it necessarily. I watched all 4 seasons, but I started it because I couldn't get enough Captain Jack out of Doctor Who. That's why I started it. And it was just too Russell T. Davies. Like, it was, like, okay, I can do Doctor Who, now let me show you what I can really do. And it was...
It needed someone else.
Yeah.
Like, could you have imagined the Moffat Torchwood? Holy shit,
my God, dude. I would probably be scarred, to be honest with you, because the thing is, I did not know this until I had to research fucking Torchwood, and you and I talked about this, but apparently in the UK, if stuff comes on after a certain hour, it's basically HBO.
Yeah, why can't we be like that here, man?
Seriously.
Could you imagine fucking AMC Walking Dead at like 10 p.m.?
I know.
Fucking America.
But, yeah, so... I found that out when there was an episode about an alien having... Like, they killed people through sex. And there was some pretty graphic sex scenes in that. And... Dude, when it gets to stars, by the way, if you're homophobic, you're not going to enjoy...
They went full Captain Jack?
They went full Captain Jack. It was Jack on Jack, okay? He was jacking some people. It was craziness. But, yeah, so... but it was... Captain Jack was the best part of that show.
Would you say he's the only reason, really, to watch the show?
Yes. Season 4 pissed me off in the finale. And, like, yeah, this finale is reason enough that you do not exist anymore. But if that season 4 had been season 1, we would probably still have Torchwood today, in my opinion.
It just sucks because that was the ending.
Yeah, that was kind of when it hit its stride. But here's the thing, and this isn't a spoiler because you're going to find out real fucking quick when you watch this show. What pisses me off about it the most, and this is what I was telling my wife about it today, is I just finished it recently, and she loves Captain Jack. What pisses me off about that show the most is they cop out every episode. And it'll be like, well, gee, Captain Jack, like, why does this thing do this thing? And his response will be, I don't know, if the doctor were here, he would know. And that's it. That's the only explanation you get for anything every episode.
That's pretty weak.
And, yeah, it's just... Anyways. But I can't go into the thing that pissed me off the most about it without spoiling all of Season 4. So
pretty much...
Captain Jack is the only reason.
I don't think I'll ever watch it. That's just my gut. Because you have been so back and forth on, and like, you're almost like, well, like my impression of you watching it has been like you've been just begrudgingly finishing it.
Basically, it's hard to explain because it's not Arrow season 3, but It has enough redeemable qualities that it's not Arrow season 3.
It had enough going on to make you finish it, but you weren't excited about ever watching it.
It got really difficult when we went from Captain Jack and Burn Gorman's character to just Captain Jack, because no one else is really that likable.
So it was just if it wasn't
Burn
about
Gorman's character is basically me in real life, like had the cynicism and the sarcasm and
so pretty much it got to the point to where like if they were doing anything that wasn't solely Captain Jack related, you were just like, oh, get on with it.
You get a lot of Captain Jack's backstory. You see some of his childhood. You meet his brother.
See, I think what I probably need to do is just Ron. What are the 5 best Torchwood episodes? Give me these. I'll watch these and I'll be done.
Yeah, because there's one that his brother is a villain.
See, I'd be y'all down for... See, like, I don't know.
And you meet another time agent, because the only time agent you've ever met is Captain Jack.
Yeah.
And you meet another time agent, in that episode you find out more about the time agents.
It's just, what's also rough, too, is the amount of good TV...
Yeah.
Like, going currently right now, and in the past decade, of just stuff you've missed. There's so much good stuff.
And,
it's hard to find time to watch something mediocre when there's so much great...
See.
What are you searching now?
I'm going to look up on IMDb because I cannot think of this guy's name, but he plays Rex in season 4, and I told you that he would be a good Jon Stewart for Green Lantern.
Mekhi Phifer?
Yes. His name was... I was not going to come up with that. He was pretty awesome. He's in season 4. He's a CIA agent. Torchwood hasn't existed in a couple of years, and all of a sudden Torchwood just starts popping up everywhere, and CIA needs Torchwood on something, and there's only 2 members surviving, and obviously Captain Jack, since he can't die, and then another person, and basically the new Torchwood team is 2 CIA agents, one that's field, one that's not, and then Captain Jack and another character, and I'm not going to say the other person's name because it's a spoiler for the rest of the seasons.
Okay.
But yeah, but you know, if you love Captain Jack and you love Jon Barrowman, then I would watch it, but I wouldn't burn through it like I did, because I got burnt out, and I had like 5 episodes left of the series, and it took me like 2 or 3 months before I ever went back and watched those other episodes. So I would watch a season and then watch something else, take a break from it, and watch a season. And I probably wouldn't even do them back to back, to be honest. They're since it's Russell T Davies, just like the first several episodes of Doctor Who, it's very Scooby-Doo. It's very Monster of the Week kind of thing. So,
I really, really...
And I'm not necessarily knocking Davies, because Doctor Who, we got some of the best Doctor Who stuff under Davies also.
I think Torchwood would have been better handled by someone else.
I mean, Midnight was Davies.
Just had a really, really bad day.
He had a fucking terrible day.
That's one of my top 3 or 4 favorite episodes ever of the show.
You know, so I mean, I'm not knocking him or his ability, but I don't know what happened. Torchwood was his baby, and it just really felt like, I'll show you what I can really do, and just went over the top with it, and it was...
I think Torchwood needed a more, not necessarily Moffat himself, but a more Moffat-type guy running it.
Yeah. And that's the way season 4 feels, that was when it moved to Stars.
Yeah.
And that's the way it kind of feels. It's one single story arc for the entire season.
But yeah, we need to get back to we've been so off topic on every topic, even more so than usual. But yeah,
you should get to the point.
Yeah, thank you, Shia.
God damn it, Shia, who let you in?
Who let you back in the house? This Torchwood audio series we were talking about like an hour ago that we just made like a full review and breakdown of every fucking episode of Torchwood. But yeah, okay, so this isn't
there's some diehard fans of that show.
Yeah.
I even tweeted something about Torchwood recently, and I got a couple of replies that like, man, that show was the shit. And I'm like, no, more like it was shit. You know, not that it was the shit. It's got some diehard fans out there.
Yeah, I will probably... I would go back and watch if you gave me the list of the best 5, but I don't think I'll ever go back and watch it. But yeah,
I might do that for you, just so you can get some more Jack.
Yeah, I love Captain Jack, but I don't love Captain Jack enough to just pile through shit.
Oh yeah, last thing off topic I'm going to say.
No, it's not. We have like a few more.
Well, about Torchwood.
Okay, about Torchwood.
There is an episode where it'll show a character, and then it'll say 5 years ago at the bottom of the screen. Then it'll go to someone else, and it'll be like 10 years ago. Somebody else 3 years ago. The Captain Jack is like 2,390 deaths ago.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and awesome. It was him waking up with like a wine bottle sticking out of his stomach, and he pulls it out and it heals.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to watch that one for sure. But yeah, so this isn't necessarily like your typical what you think of when you hear like audio book. This is an audio series. They're going to have multiple actors.
Like a radio show.
Yeah, it's going to be more a radio show than like audio book. But yeah, they're going to be doing a different series. How many are they doing, have they said?
6.
With each of a different character? Is that what you said?
Well, I don't know if they're each of a different character, but Jon Barrowman has returned to do Captain Jack.
Okay, so yeah, they probably have more details later. But yeah, do you think you'll listen to these?
I'll probably check them. I'll probably at least check out one.
You're at this point. You're just kind of like I'm
curious.
You've done.
I survived Torchwood.
Yeah,
so.
You're kind of invested now, where you might as well at least check it out. But yeah, we've got one more TV news story to get to. I wonder what off-topicness we'll get into talking about this.
Well, considering neither one of us actually watched this one.
Yeah, but you'll have something to say about it because he's your hero and favorite person on the planet.
I think you described it best when you said that Stephen Colbert was my spirit animal.
Yeah, and it's probably...
Since I have all of his books and his comic book and everything. I don't even fucking read comics. I have his comic book. So, but yeah, Colbert had his first late show, what he calls TLS, the late show, with Stephen Colbert. What is this, Wednesday? So
you're no fucking fan. You haven't even seen his show yet.
He's had 2 now, actually, at the time since we're recording this.
Traitor.
I haven't seen it because it comes on after my wife goes to bed, and she's just as big a fan as I am, and I can't watch it without her. And I didn't watch it tonight because you came over so we could record this episode, so I've missed 2.
I told you to watch the first one so you could talk about it on air, and you failed me. You failed me, and you failed Colbert. You fucking failed Colbert.
See, that's the one that hurt.
See?
That's...
I can't argue with that. I can't... Okay. But, yeah, so... Well, without seeing it... Why don't you tell me what you're hoping it's going to be and what you think it's going to be, his late night show?
Well, I know what he feels like it's going to be because I listen to his podcast.
Of course you do.
But he's only got possibly one more episode. It's either ended or has one more episode. Because he did it going up to the late show, and then they were tossing around the idea of doing one more after the first episode or after the first week to, talk about how it went and what they felt about it and all that. But the reception has been pretty good on it, and what I'm hoping it is just like what he was talking about in his podcast, which was a little bit of old and a little bit of new. Like they were trying to work in some of the old segments they did from the old show. They might have changed the names of them or whatever. They're going to be kind of the same thing. But then he's also going to be doing some new things. His set design... obviously being new design, but still has some familiar things to it. Like, apparently he said he was building a place where he would address the audience and the audience at home, which would be like the old fireplace scenes from the old show. He was building a place for that. He was building in all kinds of secret doors because people would just walk on through like the bookshelf or something on the old show. He wanted to continue that, so he's got a whole bunch of secret doors built in. Apparently there's already a fucking trap door there because whoever was before, not before who was Letterman, but the person before, did not like encountering the fans after the show. So they had a trap door on stage. And they would leave through the trap door.
That's kind of fucked up. But yeah.
So he plans to make use of the trap door somehow on his show and stuff. So, but basically, he's not going to be in character. I already know. But
and he shouldn't be.
Yeah. But in his podcast, he said several times he's very excited to have someone else on stage to talk to because it was always him on the other show. And he said it was fun at first, but after a while, it was, he had to always be in character, and it got kind of tiresome because he's the only one on camera, so he's the only one that can respond to anything, the only one that can do anything. He had nothing else to work with on screen. So, and John Baptiste, I had seen a few times. That's his band leader. He's been on the Colbert Report a few times, and he's a real cool guy. And so I think it's him being his Paul Schaefer, I think is going to work out pretty good.
I think what it's going to end up being, and what I think it should be, is half Colbert Report, half Letterman, which is perfect.
Because, that's what I'm hoping.
Because what it needed to be, and what it's already working, at least for me personally, is because this was the first time over the weekend or tomorrow, I'll actually go and watch his first couple episodes. Mm-hmm. I haven't gone out of my way to watch a late night episode of anything, of any of them, ever.
Yeah.
I like Conan a lot, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch Conan. I'm actually interested in seeing how he does his blend of Colbert with your standard late night.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's not going to be your typical late night show, because
which is good, because
Colbert is not your typical person. So
which is good, because we have had 50 fucking years of 3 or 4 of them going on at a time.
Yeah.
At all times. It needed, some new blood, new life just injected into it, because
and I think that's what he's going to do, and I think it's kind of going to be what he has to do in a way, because what he is mostly famous for, and what it has been speculated is the biggest reason they went for Stephen Colbert and not Craig Ferguson, which ended up making Craig Ferguson leave, unfortunately.
Which is sad, because I like him a lot.
Good for James Corden, but sad to lose Craig Ferguson. But the fact is, Colbert is probably going to have to be different, because he basically rules the younger audience that every studio craves to try to attract. Stephen Colbert owns the young audience.
Because those late night shows, just for being what they are, they already have the 50s and 60-year-olds. Because that's just what they watch. That's part of their daily routine, because they grew up with Johnny Carson. That's part of their daily routine.
This generation grew up with Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And Stephen Colbert was kind of the Frankenstein monster to Jon Stewart being Frankenstein. Jon Stewart had no idea what he was creating when he let loose Stephen Colbert on the world. And every young person knows his name, whether they like him or not. They know his name.
As much as I was sad to have what happened to have Craig Ferguson happen.
Yeah.
I think this was an incredibly smart move by CBS, because, like I said, I'll actually go out of my way to watch it. That's never happened before for me personally. So if it's happening and working on me, it's working on a lot of people.
Since I have owned my own DVR, not on my parents' account or anything when I was living with them or anything, I have never had it set to record a late night show before.
Until now.
So
yeah, that's exactly what they're going for, and I think it's going to be really successful. And I've only heard a couple snippets of it on the radio, but what I heard was really funny. The one I told you earlier was you're going to want to check out my episode tonight. He said this today. You're going to want to check it out tonight. It's for sure going to be one of my top 2 best episodes I've ever done. Shit like that, But yeah, we need to move on to our next topic, and that is another late night host making headlines, but this time for all the wrong reasons.
This one we did go out of our way to check out.
Jimmy Kimmel decided to make an ass out of himself by talking about Let's Plays.
Shame.
And if you're not familiar, which I don't know how the fuck you'd be listening to us but not know what a Let's Play is. A Let's Play is what happens when you have, regular assholes like Ron and I talking over the video game they're playing and recording them simultaneously. And this is a nice little plug, you can watch us do this if you go to YouTube and search NPC Five Nights at Freddy's 3. You will find our only and probably, only Let's Play we'll ever do. But yeah, he went out of his way to basically shit on Let's Plays as a whole.
Without even understanding what he was talking about.
Yeah, that's the big problem, is because you should probably go ahead, go to Jimmy Kimmel Live, I think that's the name of his YouTube channel.
Yes.
Find the one that has 1 million hits. Because that's the one we're talking about.
What did I have 135,000 thumbs down?
Yeah, I think it had it was something like 19, or it was, I think it was 9 or 19,000 likes and 135,000
I think it was 9 thumbs up and 135,000 thumbs down.
Yeah, he got freaking crucified for what he said. Oh, I don't want to get into too many of his quotes, but he had like a whole thing about, you know, it's pretty much like going to a restaurant and watching someone else eat your food.
Yeah,
and like you were saying, he really had no fucking clue what he was talking about, because now he would have a point if all Let's Plays were silent video game playing. If someone, a lot of people watch that, and I agree with him, that is stupid to me.
Yeah.
Why you would just go onto Twitch and watch Ron play Metal Gear Solid 5 with him not talking.
I thought you were going to say Diablo.
Like, I would never watch, like, you or someone else play Diablo 3
How dare you?
Or Metal Gear Solid 5 without commentary, because that's not even a Let's Play at that point. That's just watching someone else playing a video game. I think that's what he thought a Let's Play was. A Let's Play is commentary provided over the video game, which, since...
And he even invoked PewDiePie's name.
Yeah.
During that. But he still...
He didn't know what he was talking about.
Didn't know what he was talking about.
He got fed the
obviously
name.
Never looked at any of the videos that PewDiePie's done.
Because, like...
Which I wouldn't, but... Yeah.
Because, you know, I watch some Let's Plays. I'm not, you know, like there are some diehard Let's Play fans where, like, all they do is watch, like, Rooster Teeth and PewDiePie and people like that just every day, all day.
Yeah.
And I watch some, and sometimes I'll watch them, won't even be watching the screen. I'll just be listening to their commentary while I'm, you know, doing something else. So it's a different experience than just literally watching someone else playing a video game. He didn't get this, and why you would intentionally going after internet trolls, like, which is kind of what he ended up doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But here's the thing about this, Jeff, that got me.
Yeah.
Was basically what he said he shouldn't have been saying, not because of what it was he was saying, but he didn't know what he was saying. He didn't get it at all. He didn't do any research himself. Some writers fed him some stuff.
Like PewDiePie, he didn't know. They fed him the name.
But to me, nothing he said was worth me going out and tweeting him to get cancer, or... going into the YouTube comments and trying to crucify him like every other YouTube comment is on every YouTube video ever, except ours. I guess that's a good thing for us.
The biggest...
But like, what he said wasn't even worth my time to voice my opinion about when I heard it.
And again, for the millionth time, the video game community makes the video game community looks like a bunch of morons.
Yeah.
And just sick pieces of shit. Like those people who are going after his family.
Yeah.
Really? He talks shit on Let's Plays, and you're gonna, cuss out his daughter? Like, really?
Yeah.
How much of a piece of shit do you have to be to go on and say that?
Why would you tell someone to go get cancer? Or to get brain cancer? Or to go get AIDS? Like, I don't understand. Like, nothing he said warranted any of that. At number one. I almost said number A. Number one. Number two... Like, that doesn't help your case.
It just makes you look like an idiot.
And here's the thing. He's a comedian. Comedians love that shit. I mean, his next episode...
was him making fun of all of them.
making fun of all of them.
Okay. He was asking for the shitstorm he created by being ignorant to what he was talking about. But nothing warrants the reception that it got. And unfortunately, all of those things happen... They're happening right now.
Yeah.
YouTube comments are just full of sick, disgusting assholes who are just making, and not even just specifically video games, the video gaming community specifically.
But of course, if you're listening to us on YouTube, we're not referring to you directly. We love you.
Yeah, we love all you guys.
Not our fans. Our fans would never do anything like that.
No, we have the best fans. Reese is awesome.
Thanks, Mom.
But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that, like, it seems like every week the video game community is just making an ass of themselves. I don't know. It's a shame, and just please, like, I mean, this is a bigger topic that we could probably do a whole entire episode on, but I think the level of anonymity you can have on the internet needs to change.
Yeah.
You need to have some level of accountability about acting like a complete and utter dipshit online and getting away with it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on. Speaking of utter dipshits, we're gonna move over to Konami. So
The Kanazis.
yeah, the Kanazi report of the week.
Yes.
We need a drop for them.
Okay,
Or we don't, because they're probably really offensive.
Apparently, the Kanazis not only drove away Kojima, but they're fucking up his game now. Metal Gear Solid 5, one of the big things in the news is game save corruption. Apparently, and I don't know, I've played Metal Gear Solid on the original PlayStation once, so I don't know much about it, but apparently there's a character called Quiet, and if you team up with her on mission 29 and or mission 42, that's just the known ones. You're gonna have a corrupted save file, and you have to start all over. So the Kanazis' advice was to not use that character as a teammate at all. So you have a broken character in a game, which I guess is better than, say, Arkham Knight on PC, but
It's the one of the unforgivable video gaming sins is I just lost my entire game save. Fuck you, game. I'm never playing you again.
yeah.
That's. I don't know if that's ever happened to me, but if it did, after I had invested more than say 2 or 3 hours into the game, and even then you'd be pissed. But like, let's say even like Metal Gear is one of those where you could play like 40, 50 hours. If you lost that, it would be heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, and I've had it happen to me on other games, and it's just not fun.
Do you remember a specific one? I'm just curious.
GTA 2.
How many hours did you lose?
It's embarrassing how many hours I have on GTA 2.
Or had on GTA 2?
On GTA 2 for PC. Trying to think of a console game I've had it happen to me. Gran Turismo 3 doesn't really count. I had 2 memory cards. One that was just all my tunings for cars. I lost a couple of my cars, the tuning stuff that I had done. But I've had it happen a few times on PC games. But here's the unique thing about this. They didn't just fuck it up for PC. I didn't even know until this story that this was on 360 and PS3. But
after seeing it on PS4, I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous if you've seen any of the gameplay.
But apparently it's fucked up on all consoles. It's 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and Steam.
Ouch.
Which means if you bought your physical copy, you have it on Steam.
So if you just don't do the missions so quiet, are you golden? Was it just that character that was fucked up?
Like I said, those 2 missions are the known ones. There's probably others. So until they have a patch to fix it,
do not play with Quiet.
Do not play with Quiet.
Yeah.
Let Quiet be quiet. Do not use her. And they said just pick someone else. Which I'm sure there's probably a lot of Quiet fans out there that are none too quiet about this.
What's funny is that the people who love Metal Gear are such diehard Metal Gear fans. They were like, "Oh, it got corrupted. This is another excuse to replay it again."
I'm sure if Kojima was still, if the Kanazis hadn't ran him off, then I'm sure that's probably exactly the way they feel. They're probably already like, "Fuck you, Konami, but take my money anyway." And then the save game for a while, and it's like, fuck you, Konami, new game.
You're fucking up Kojima's game. You're fucking up his legacy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's probably going on internet message boards right now.
Yeah. So, but we just thought that was worth mentioning, that if you haven't ran into that yet, be aware of it. If you have run into it and you haven't heard how to fix it, don't use Quiet.
Yeah, stay away.
Apparently the issue is with Quiet.
Yeah, but speaking of companies and fucking
A.
game-breaking glitches, Ubisoft. This is the most random story. I can't even know. I don't even know what to say. Ubisoft announced a theme park.
What the fuck?
Like, were they?
I'm sorry, you're not Star Wars.
I was just about to bring it back to Star Wars. They're like, hey man, Star Wars is doing it. Why can't we make one?
We're like Star Wars, right?
You know, I'm really looking forward to. I want to go on the ride that simulates Assassin's Creed Unity, where they simulate falling through the map.
Dude, that's what it is. I guarantee you, since they have no information on what any of the rides are or anything, it must be all of the fucking glitches they've ever had in any of their games.
We're making this sound a lot more fun than this is actually going to end up being. But, okay, what games are they actually going to have, or that they've said so far?
So far, they've said the Raving Rabbids, which I can understand. That's aimed at kids. Kids are going to eat that shit up no matter what it is. But then Assassin's Creed and Just Dance.
How the fuck do you do Assassin's Creed in a theme park? I don't understand.
Well, I'm going to guess you can jump into a couple of haystacks. My personal favorite is getting to knife a guy in the throat. And then falling through the map. No, I bet you if they're doing something with Assassin's Creed, they'll probably have something Pirates of the Caribbean-like. And they'll probably do, like, one of my favorite things when I went to Disney World in Orlando was over at the MGM Grand. They had the live Batman thing going on and the live Indiana Jones show going on. And you would almost be required to do something Assassin's Creed related like that.
You want to know how they can sell this for me? It's okay, we're on the Assassin's Creed, right?
Uh-huh.
Your targets, the higher-ups for the Nazis.
There you go.
Then I will fucking fly to wherever the hell this theme park is if I can go and assassinate the Konami higher-ups.
I was trying to think how you could do something kind of laser tag related with it or something. That would be cool.
No, they do have
around assassinating each other.
Do they have Far Cry? I want to say I remember seeing Far Cry related to this story somehow. Because like Far Cry makes sense actually if they do have that property like doing some type of thing.
I think they do.
Because you can just do like a little open area, have a little hang gliding type thing, and you can have a little. But they don't have enough shit to be making a fucking theme park.
Keep in mind that this is Ubisoft, and if it's anything that goes more than 3 feet off the ground, do not ride it. Because all their games are fucking broken. Imagine their real stuff. Their real mechanical shit.
If Assassin's Creed Unity is broken, I don't want to
get on... The teacups will kill you, okay?
That'd be kind of funny. The assassins pop out of the teacups.
Halfway through the ride, just a bunch of assassins jump out and knife you in the face.
Now, one thing they could do that would be fucking cool with Assassin's Creed, if they did a simulation of where you're directing your assassin bros. That would be really cool.
It's an animus. You lay down in an animus.
Like the, I think it was like either Brotherhood or Revelations where you like have your little group of assassins you can send out. Yeah, they should do a little thing like that. That'd be like if you looked up and they had a couple of actors like...
That concessions guy charged me $8 for a bottle of water.
Get him. But yeah.
Knife him in the fucking face.
Yeah, if they can't even make the video game work right, I'm not riding their fucking roller coaster.
Don't do it.
I'm just saying that much. And Just Dance? Are they just gonna have like a big DDR room? Like,
I guess. I don't know. The only thing with the Raving Rabbids that keeps popping in my head though is, the Jaws ride where Jaws pops up out of the water. It's like one of the Raving Rabbids just pops up onto your face or something.
So, am I reading this right? They're gonna have it in Malaysia?
Yes.
Is that because they don't have health code regulations?
Their safety code, I'm sure,
in
is
Malaysia,
a lot more relaxed.
You can actually assassinate people and it's okay.
They couldn't get approval for knifing people in the fucking throat.
Ubisoft.
Over here in the U.S.
Let's not, this is why their fucking games don't work, because there are people over there thinking, you know what, we need a fucking theme park. We don't, I don't even understand.
Okay, I have a quote from this article.
Do tell.
On Nerd Tits, okay?
Or Nerdist, as everyone else.
If anyone that is actually listening is curious why we call it that, I was really tired one night and was trying to Google something and I typed in Nerd Tits instead of Nerdist.
Freudian slip.
And it is just stuck. No pun intended with Nerd Tits.
I'm not saying, just move on.
But I have a quote from the author, okay? And it is, I quote, "To be honest, I'm not even sure what sort of rides they have in mind," end quote.
Man, that should be the blurb on the ticket that you buy.
That's the blurb on the homepage when you first go to the Ubisoft Malaysia. Dude, I'm sure as hell am not taking Malaysia Airlines over there. This is just a shitstorm all the way around.
Dude, the Malaysia Airlines are part of the ride.
That's it. Ubisoft has a hand in that somehow. They must have done the maintenance for the planes or something. I swear to God.
I'm shaking my head. I don't even know what to fucking say, dude. Like, seriously, were they in a board meeting and then like someone like, hey, dude, they're making a Star Wars theme park. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, we can do that.
What? You can do that? Fucking Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Literally all we can say is fucking Ubisoft. Alright, I think that's going to be a wrap to our special 25th, what would you call it, the 25 years of no one listening to us still. Yeah, special.
25 consecutive shows.
25 episodes. We've only gotten kind of better. Yeah.
We have a theme song now, and we got some drops.
And that was like episode 24.
Something like that.
We did all of that. So it was, yeah.
But it happened.
By episode 50, we might be somewhat tolerable.
Episode 50, we might have like segments that segue between movies, TVs, and
that's too high quality for our standards. But yeah, if you'd like to check us out more, you can find us on our YouTube channel. Just search There Will Be Expletives. We at some point want to go back and do more Let's Plays. We had a lot of fun doing it. We just had some scheduling problems. Both of us really busy, so we look to do that again soon. Just have to find a day to be able to record. We want to do Five Nights at Freddy's 4. They've done so many Five Nights at Freddy's, I lose track. Was it 4?
Yeah,
the next
it's
one we're
4.
going to do. It's fucking Five Nights at Freddy's.
We promised 3 and 4 several episodes ago. We're going to post them both on that weekend. And it was like 2 weeks later we got 3 up. And
Gosh, Ron. The fuck is your problem?
We still haven't got 4 up.
Yeah, you can also check out our Twitter at TWBE Podcast. Ron.
That's where you find all the breaking news, like Ubisoft's theme park.
The breaking news you can't live without. We also have our Facebook page, facebook.com/TWBE Podcast. It's usually, if any news pops up, it's Ron. I forget we have it. I'm just selling it perfectly, aren't I?
But yeah, follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Review us on iTunes.
Just do it!
Thank you, Shia.
Thank you, Shia. I still don't... Why the fuck are you still here? Get out of my house.
Special correspondent, Shia.
But, alright. I guess that wraps up our half of a 100 episodes.
I have been Jeff.
And I was Ron.
And we are There Will Be Extras. We'll catch you next time. Welcome to the inaugural episode of There Will Be Expletives. I am Jeff.
I'm Ron.
And we thought there weren't enough assholes out on the internet to give you their opinions about geek news.
So we're going to bring you our opinions about the latest news and reviews in video games, TV shows, geek stuff.